What's up everyone, this is Adam Gillespie with Rancid and Sweaty Calves coming at you with yet another video, and in this I'll be covering something that has been intriguing to me for quite some time, that being the whole Chris Pratt getting cancelled simply for having a Christian faith ordeal. As many people know, if you don't know, I'll give you a quick history as to what's going on with Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt is a open Christian, like he in Hollywood, which is like the most frowned upon thing you can be in Hollywood. A Christian who actually has some level of moral fortitude and actually doesn't want evil Hollywood executives to get away with doing evil Hollywood executive things. You know, he doesn't actively talk about politics as much as other actors do, and he just lives his life as a Christian to the best of his ability. Now, that's frowned upon in Hollywood. You're not allowed to do that in Hollywood. In Hollywood, you have to hate Christians. In Hollywood, you have to hate Catholics. In Hollywood, you have to hate people of faith. In Hollywood, the only faith that you can actually support is the faith that does jihadi and Sharia law and actively kills themselves with bombs on their chest. You know, in Hollywood, you have to talk about how amazing every other religion is apart from Christianity, and then you have to talk about how, you know, secularism is only the way to go. Now, Chris Pratt doesn't do that. Chris Pratt also doesn't actively support homosexuality or or you know, bisexuality or any of the other weird sexualities that are going on today. He doesn't necessarily condemn people who do it either. He says, "Hey, look, it's against what my religion says," and people get on him for that simply because he's agreeing with what the Bible says, what the Bible preaches. Now, stupid, right? Really stupid. Who would have a problem with someone simply expressing their mind about the religion that they've adopted into their heart, right? Well, apparently everyone, right? Apparently everyone in Hollywood, except for James Gunn. Now, I will read through this a little bit, and I'll give you guys a quick overview of what's going on in regards to the Chris Pratt situation. So Chris Pratt is obviously one of the biggest names in Marvel Cinematic Universe thanks to his portrayal of Peter Quill, MCU outings to date, most notably Guardians of the Galaxy franchise from James Gunn. Although the veteran Hollywood star is prepping his long-awaited return in July's Thor: Love and Thunder, he's also been subject of some unfortunate controversy off-camera. Over the past couple of years, Pratt has come under fire for reportedly being a member of a church that promotes anti-LGBTQ+ views. Pratt's also been called out for his political stances after not being a part of a Democratic gatherings, leading to some fans wanting him canceled and replaced as Star-Lord within the MCU. And that's a very, very simple kind of breakdown. I won't go through the rest of the article because that kind of covers everything all in 2 paragraphs. But what happens is, what happened was he didn't actively support a Democratic candidate by the name of Joe Biden, who is, you know, a dementia-riddled, liver-spotted individual who can hardly stand up when the wind blows by. And he attends a church that doesn't actively encourage people to engage in the sin of homosexuality or bisexuality or any of these other weird transgender ideologies or gender ideologies that are going on in the world today, which is not a radical thing for the church to do. They've kind of stood against that since the beginning of the church, way back, you know, around 2,000 years ago when it was first founded, right after Jesus Christ came back from the dead and all that good jazz. Yeah, no, that was that's part of the DNA of the church, is to not actively support individuals who they believe to be in unrepentant sin. Now, it's not anti-LGBTQ+ to not want people to engage in that or to prevent a individual who doesn't adhere to your religious standards from taking part in communion or taking part in membership. It's really kind of like this. Okay, so imagine you're a stewardess or a steward on a flight attendant on a plane, right? You have flight sickness, right? You probably wouldn't want to be on a plane serving people their food, going about doing your job if you're going to get all sickly whenever the plane goes up in the air. Or imagine this. I don't know. You can think of other ideas in your own mind, but it's not necessarily something that you should actively encourage individuals to do. It's like a cop being a serial killer. You know, you tend not to want to hire a serial killer to be a cop because, well, now they have all the resources in the world to do what they want to do, which is not such a great thing. Now, I'm not equating homosexuals to serial killers, okay? Don't think I'm doing that. But for someone to say, hey, look, because of the unrepentant sin that you're partaking in, we're not going to allow you to take part in this communion, or take part in being a membership of a believing church body. That's not a hypocritical or evil thing to do. It's actually kind of just doing what the Bible says. It's just adhering to what your religion states, which Chris Pratt is doing, and by attending a church. Literally, people are getting upset at him because he's attending a church. And Marvel stands are trying to get him canceled because they don't like the fact that he's a devout Christian. At least he claims to be a devout Christian. And from his actions, he doesn't appear to be an individual who would cross a line like that anymore. He's overall, he's a decent guy. He's a decent guy, and he actually cares about people, which is something that Hollywood also doesn't want, because Hollywood likes to drag people into the midst of darkness. Ugh. As you can see from all the crazy things that go on. I mean, Harvey Weinstein, sex trafficking within the realm of Hollywood, actors actively encouraging children to be sexually groomed in their schools by their teachers. Yeah, no, Hollywood's not a great place. And James Gunn comes out and he defends Chris Pratt after fans try to get him canceled. And I will see if I can't find it. Yeah, so here we go. Marvel, hear me out. Just replace him. And then I guess this is someone. For what? Because of your made up, utterly false beliefs about him? For something that someone else told you about him that's not true? Chris Pratt would never be replaced as Star-Lord, but if he ever was, we would all be going with him. So I take it that was James Gunn talking about the fact that Chris Pratt has done nothing wrong. He isn't. I know the church he currently goes to. Do you? The answer is you don't, but you heard from someone who heard from someone who heard from someone where he goes to church. So decided, yeah, okay, I'll believe this terrible thing I heard online about this celebrity. So James Gunn just kind of actively talks about the fact that there are false claims about Chris Pratt being a hateful bigot towards the LGBTQ plus community, and yeah, that's really all it is. And I stand with James Gunn for the first time, and I stand with Chris Pratt as I have in the past, because Chris Pratt has been under fire for simply having a religious belief that differs from everyone else in Hollywood, and he actually sticks to it, which is the amazing thing. Because in Hollywood, it is very difficult to stick to your religious beliefs because they tend to corrupt you beyond belief. Now, I don't want to get too much more into this. I've already ranted a little bit more than I planned on ranting about this little topic, but I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, comment down below your thoughts. Follow me over on Rumble at capital RANTSIT, rants it, all one word, no space, and follow me over on Patreon at Sweaty Calves. I will be leaving the I'll be leaving links to my Patreon, and I'll be leaving links to my Rumble in the description below. So if you guys would check that out, that'd be great. In any case, though, I hope you guys have a great day and a great rest of the week.